Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristen Jamerson, and I am the Education Director here at Sea Turtle Inc. Sea Turtle Inc. is a nonprofit sea turtle hospital in South Padre Island, Texas. We have a three-tier mission here, so we work towards educating the public about sea turtles and their environment. We rescue and rehabilitate sick and injured sea turtles for release back out into the wild. And then we also work towards conservation efforts for all marine turtle species. So today we're really excited because we are going to be feeding some of our patients. So I'm really happy that some of you are tuning in so far. If you guys are watching this video, go ahead and type in the comment bar where you guys are tuning in from. We always get really excited to see people all across the nation hopping on our lives to learn about sea turtles. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about what we are going to be doing. The tank in front of me, which you guys will see here shortly, has about 7 turtles in it that have been here for various lengths of time for rehab. So we get patients that come in for a wide variety of reasons. It could be natural causes like predator attacks. We see a lot of human impacts too: entanglement in fishing line, nets, trash, boat strike turtles. We get turtles that come in that have eaten plastic out in the environment. So all kinds of different things. But with our enrichment, we're actually going to be feeding some lettuce to our turtles today. So our main species that we get here in our hospital is the Atlantic green sea turtle. And that has a lot to do with the area that we are in. South Padre Island is all the way at the southern tip of Texas, right along the border of Mexico. And of course, our island is surrounded by water. So the Laguna Madre is a big bay system that runs up the Texas coast. It's a relatively shallow body of water, which means there's a lot of seagrasses and algae that grow out in our bay. It is really rainy here. You guys might have heard that thunder in the background. So I apologize if it's hard for you guys to hear me right now. But in our bay, we have a ton of seagrass. So our waters here off the coast of Texas are actually foraging grounds for juvenile green sea turtles. So that is the main species that we get here in our hospital. We do feed our turtles a variety of foods. The main part of their diet is actually seafood. It's a mixture of squid, mackerel, as well as shrimp. We don't have seagrasses here at our facility, but we do want to supplement that part of their diet with things that we have on hand, and some of those items are lettuce. So here you guys will see one of our enrichment devices. Enrichment is really important for patients in our hospital because no matter how long they're here, whether it's a week or a year or two, we want to make sure that we're continuing to stimulate these animals since they will be released in the future. So this is a lettuce bar. It's just white PVC pipe. These little end caps are weighted, and we'll fill it with green leaf lettuce like you see in front of me. So when I drop this in the tank, it's gonna sink down to the bottom, and this lettuce will stand upright just like seagrass does out in our bays. And that forces the turtles to dive down to the bottom of their tanks in order to feed. So we are gonna be dropping in 2 lettuce bars in this tank since there are quite a few turtles. If you guys see the turtles not eating very much, don't be alarmed. We did feed them the main part of their diet in the morning. So think of this as just a little afternoon snack. So I see lots of you commenting. Some of you are local from Edinburgh. I'm super excited that you guys are here. Lots of people from Texas. I saw somebody comment that they were from Kentucky too. Welcome. I'm really excited that y'all are here. If you guys do have any questions, go ahead and type them into the comment bar and I will answer them as I see them pop up. One question that's coming in from Jamie is, does that give them protein? So the lettuce, not so much, but all the seafood that we feed them does give them a good source of protein while they are here in our care. So I'm going to spin my camera around so you guys can see some of our little turtles. It looks like they are ready for their enrichment this afternoon. Hey guys, I see people from Iowa, Minnesota, Florida. I'm super excited that you guys are tuning in today to see our little afternoon enrichment with our patients. You guys are going to see the turtles coming in pretty quickly. Hey, my stepdad's on. I'm really excited. Hey guys. If you guys do have questions about anything that we do here at Sea Turtle Inc. or what you guys are watching right now, feel free to go ahead and type those into the comment bar and I will answer them as I see them come up. We do have quite a few turtles in this tank. Most of them are here because they were stuck in the rocks down at our jetties. So South Padre Island has a big ship channel on the south as well as the north end, and there's lots of big granite boulders that line that ship channel, and since they're pretty spaced apart, these little green sea turtles will go in there to feed on the seagrasses and algae that grow along the rock faces, and when they do, they get stuck. So you guys will notice some of our patients have these scratches along the backs of their shell. That is where the keratin layer, that layer just like your fingernail, has actually peeled off from being stuck so tightly in those rocks. How much does one turtle eat in a day? And that is a good question. So our rehab staff bases the diet, how much food we feed them, on the condition of the turtle. So if we have a turtle that arrives at our hospital and they're very skinny, they'll try and feed them a little bit more in hopes that they gain weight. Every once in a while, but not too often, we get turtles that come in that are a little chunky and they need to lose a little bit of weight to get to that ideal body condition. So we might cut their food back a little bit too. So it really just depends on the turtle and the condition that they are in. I see a question coming in from McKenna. Are the turtles friendly? So our goal in the hospital is to keep these animals as wild as possible so they can return out into the ocean. But I will say that sea turtles are very curious. They see us standing along the edge of the tank, so they might come up, check us out, go back down, and swim to the other side. I see a lot of you saying you've been here before. It was your favorite part of your vacation. We're so happy that you guys have visited us. And then hopefully, for those of you that haven't, once we are open and everybody is through this COVID-19 crisis, you guys will be able to come see us in person too. How long can they stay feeding under the water? That's a really good question too. Sea turtles can hold their breath for varying lengths of time. These little patients that you guys are looking at right now, they're very small. Most of them are under 10, 15 pounds. So they can hold their breath for about an hour or so, maybe longer. The more active the turtle is under the water, the less time they're going to stay under. So you guys will notice our turtles will be down there feeding and they'll come up to the surface to take a breath, probably here pretty shortly. How many turtles do we have in our, here's one coming up. This is Serectus. You guys will notice that he is missing a flipper. That injury was completely healed when he washed up on the beach. So we can't say definitively how he lost that flipper. It could have been from a predator out in the wild. It also could have been from entanglement. Let's see, questions. How many turtles do you house in your rehab facility? Right now, we are up to 15-ish patients. My number might be a little bit off, but we do have all of our patient stories on our website if you guys want to go learn more about each of these individuals. I'm glad you guys are liking it. It's always fun to watch the turtles eat. How many permanent residents do you have? We have 5 turtles that live with us full time. Right now we are in our hospital. Our residents are housed in our education building. So we are not over there yet. We are going to be doing some future lives with some of our residents. So make sure you guys stay on top of our Facebook and check for updates because we will be featuring some of them in the near future. What is the average lifespan of a sea turtle? They have about a human lifespan, so about 60 to 80 years. The turtles you guys are looking at are green sea turtles though, and since they feed on vegetation out in the wild, biologists think it contributes to a slightly longer lifespan. Green sea turtles can actually live to be over 100. So here you guys are getting a close-up view of Crash. How do we choose the names for our patients? Those names actually come from the people that find them. So that's one way that we help keep the public involved in their care. I see somebody thanking us for broadcasting this. I'm glad it is making your day. And how many do we release every year? That really varies as well, depending on how many turtles we get into our hospital. Last year, we had 85 patients that came through our facility, and the vast majority of the turtles that we have do get released. Do the turtles have different personalities? Yes, some turtles are a little more, let's see, what's the word? Some we put in tanks. We do have to monitor them because some turtles can be a little more aggressive than others. Some are a little more relaxed, so it just depends. How do we tell them apart? That is a very good question. Now, you guys will see Serectus here at the top. Him missing that flipper makes it really easy for us to identify them. But all these other turtles, they look very much alike. So one thing that our rehab staff will do is they will actually, you guys will notice that some of our turtles have their names written on the back of their shells. That makes it really easy for them to take a glance in the tank, identify the turtle that they need to pull, and then take that turtle out for rehab. Other ways that we tell them apart, you guys notice some of these scratches on their shells. They're all a little bit different, so that helps with identification too. Sometimes we can look at the color of the turtle or their injuries to help tell them apart from the other ones. Oh, I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying watching the turtles today. We have Mr. LeCates here, and Rachel's actually here, so you guys can see her. How many patients, or do you have patients that have returned? That is a good question, and yes. So, I believe El Tigre is in this tank somewhere. Oh, right here, right in front of Rachel. So this is a patient that we have had in our hospital in the past. That turtle came in back in the summer. It was stuck in the rocks out at our ship channel. We brought him into our facility. He was released a month later. Well, a few months later, we had a big cold front that moved through this area, and that turtle washed up a second time. It was actually stuck in the rocks again. And the way that we were able to identify that patient was through his tags that we put on him the first time. So sometimes we do get turtles that return to our hospital, but not very often. How many times a day do we feed them? We feed them the main part of their diet once a day, the seafood that I mentioned in the morning, and then we always do an enrichment once a day in the afternoon. And then somebody asked, will they swim up to you and let you touch them? So the turtles do come to the surface of the tank. But as I mentioned, we are a sea turtle hospital, so our goal is to get these turtles back out into the wild as quickly as possible. And if we were in here touching these animals, they would get really accustomed to being around people, and that's not what we want to happen. We want to make sure that they continue to stay wild, and one way that we do that is by only handling them when we absolutely have to. Are they good for pets? Another good question. Sea turtles are actually endangered, so there are not very many of them left out in the wild, so you cannot have a sea turtle as a pet at all. Will the turtle without the flipper be released? Another good question. So turtles that come into our hospital, if they're missing one flipper, they can get released out into the wild as long as the turtle is able to hunt on its own and get food, which Surrectus is able to do very well. Most likely this turtle will be released in the future also. So we have about a few more minutes. If you guys have any other questions, I see one coming in. What temperature is the water? So in the wintertime, our tanks are heated. Right now, though, the temperature is about ambient. It's about 72, give or take. Yeah, I see somebody commenting, Piper, about our founder. Her name was Isla Fox Letcher. If you guys get on our website, Sea Turtle Inc., that's inc.org, we have a whole page dedicated to Isla. She was a really amazing lady, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for her. It looks like they are through their lettuce bars. Like I said, they do eat really quickly. We have some of our board members on here too. If you guys do, if you're curious about how to support our facility, we are here still working, taking care of all these animals that you guys are looking at today. So if you do want to support us and the turtles, feel free to visit our website. We'll put a link in this video once I have published it for a link to lead to our donations as well, if you guys are interested in that. Does someone take care of them overnight? That is a really good question. So our turtles are not too active at night, so when our staff leaves, they stay here, mellow out in the tanks, and then they'll be totally fine overnight on their own. Awesome questions, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Question coming in, do we hop in the tanks with the turtles for any reason? With our patients, we try not to, but every once in a while, we are in South Padre Island. The sun hits this tank, so as you can imagine, we do get some algae that grows in here. So whenever we need to clean the tanks, we will move the turtles over to a different one, completely drain it and scrub it out. And then once it's clean, we'll fill it back up and move the turtles back over. A question coming in, how big are these turtles? Here's Crash, here's my hand. So this turtle is under 10 pounds. And do we get a lot of baby sea turtles? In the summertime, after hatchling season has started, every once in a while we will get some smaller turtles that come in. Right now we don't have any though. The largest turtle that we have is Tilly, and I'm glad you asked that because that is a good segue for our live that is coming up next week. We're actually going to be featuring Tilly as our patient spotlight. So make sure you guys stay on top of our Facebook. If you haven't already, like our page. You guys will get all of our updates. We are doing Facebook Lives every other day. So there won't be one tomorrow, but there will be one on Monday if you guys want to tune into that. And Monday is when we are featuring Tilly. Yes, I had to double check. All right, so we're right about out of time. If you guys do have any questions though, go ahead and leave them in the comments and we will try and go back and answer as many of them as we can. Again, if you guys want to follow our page, we would greatly appreciate it. We want you guys to keep coming back and learning about sea turtles since you aren't able to visit us here in person. We hope that everybody is keeping their spirits up. Eventually we will get through this, right? Oh. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but we have a big storm going on South Padre Island. Lots of lightning and thunder right now. So I am going to get off this live. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today, and we hope to see you in all of our lives in the future. Bye, guys.